What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again for another season preview. And now it is time for the Nashville Predators, as I believe we're now halfway through. I think this is the halfway mark, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe one before, I'm not sure. But the Nashville Predators are now, after a really down year. This was a season where everything that could go wrong for Nashville basically did go wrong. And I was one of the people that had them in the playoffs, considering they made the playoffs the year before. They made some big additions in last year's offseason, and then it came crashing down very quickly. Their GM is Barry Trotz. He's going into year three. It's going to be his job to fix this. Year one, they make the playoffs. Year two, they fall out badly. It's going to be up to him to get this team geared in the right direction. And then you have their coach, Andrew Brunette, who's also going into year three. Again, he was the coach of the Florida Panthers the year they won the President's Trophy after he took over from Joe Quenneville. And then he didn't have a job the next season. And then the last 2 years, he's been the coach of Nashville. 1 year in the playoffs, 1 year not. How is year three going to be? Which team are you going to get this year? Up front, it starts and ends with Philip Forsberg, $8.5 million until 2030. Then you have Ryan O'Reilly, $4.5 million until 2027. And Jonathan Marchessault, $5.5 million until 2029. Marchessault, honestly, probably was the best Predator of this season, but no one will realize that because of everything surrounding the team. It's like he was one of the additions, and they didn't get to the playoffs, and they fell out completely, so he must have been bad. Marchessault had a decent year. Evangelista is still an RFA, so on that second line, you hope he gets signed soon. Svechkov is an RFA in 2026, and Stamkos, $8 million until 2028. Another player that definitely had a down year that Nashville did not expect. However, as you can see here, we got Evangelista, we got Svechkov. As we get more into the lineup, we'll see we have a lot of RFAs coming up, which means we have young players that are waiting to make an impact in this lineup. And the problem is, none of those are really top-tier young players. Kamel, when he was drafted, was projected to be one of those guys. It's been a good few years since he's been drafted, and he's only made his debut last year, I believe, for only 2 games. So you hope he develops into something soon. And if not, they had the 5th overall pick this season, and we'll get to him soon. On the third line, you have Michael Bunting at $4.5 million until 2026. Eric Halla was acquired from New Jersey at $3.15 million until 2026. And then, as mentioned, Kamel is an RFA in 2027. Then you have Cole Smith, $1 million until 2026. McCarron's $900,000 until 2026. And Leroux, however you pronounce that, Leroux, I don't know, as an RFA in 2026 as well. So RFA, 4 RFAs in this forward core over the next 2 years or so. Then you have depth. You have Weisblatt, who's an RFA in 2027. Schaefer, who's an RFA in 2027. Wood, who's an RFA in 2027. And I believe a former first-round pick. Lucchini's brought in his depth, and Enstrom was acquired in the I think it was the deal that sent Lauzon and Sissons to Vegas, if I remember correctly. No, it was the Askarov deal. Yeah, he was the one that they got for Askarov. He's an RFA in 2028. Forwards coming up as well. Martin, Reed, Surin, and Lee are all forwards that are yet to make their debut, and they were first-round picks over the last 2 years or so. Nashville had a lot of first-round picks this year. A lot because of the trade of Tanner Jeannot, which they acquired a lot of draft picks for. So Nashville's got some players coming up, but in the immediate future, are they really going to make an impact? If they have another down year this year, I could see this team definitely going into a full-scale rebuild. Moving into the defense, Yossi, $9.059 million until 2028. Blankenberg is listed on the top pair on Puckpedia, $775,000 until 2026. Certainly a choice. Brady Shea is $7 million until 2031, and he was another one that faced a lot of flack this season. Justin Barron, $1.15 until 2026, will be an RFA. Haig, $5.5 million, who they signed in free agency after a sign-and trade. He's $5.5 until 2029. And then Perbix they signed in free agency, $2.75 million until 2027. Overall, their defense, their left side, excellent. The right side, not excellent. Blankenberg you'd preferably have in your bottom 2 or 7th defenseman. Barron's a young defenseman who has a potential, so I'll allow that. Perbix, ideally top 4, top 6. You're really missing a top right shot defenseman if you're Nashville. On the depth side, you have Osterley, Englund, and then 2 of the younger guys are Stasny and Wilsby. They're older guys, but they're still RFA caliber. They're still going to be RFAs in the next year or so, but they're not super young RFAs. They're 25, 24, 20, that age range, the end of RFA status range. So moving on to the goaltending. Saros, $7.74 million until 2033. His extension that he signed last year that's ended up sending Askarov to San Jose. That kicks in this season, so 8 more years of UC Saros, who did not have a great year. Then you have Annunen, who was acquired midseason for Wedgwood. He's an RFA in 2026 as well. Goaltending depth, you have Murray. That's Matt Murray, number 2, I believe. You have Magnus Corona, who was acquired in the Askarov deal as well. And they drafted Ivankovic, who was one of the probably top 3, top 4 goalie prospects in this year's draft. It was a very goalie heavy draft. A lot of goalies went early. And he can end up being something for them. He could kind of be their next Askarov, coming to the time when Saros' contract is coming to an end. So we'll see how he develops in his time. But overall, the lineup seems to be in a direction that it doesn't know where it wants to go. That's kind of how I see it right now. 2025, since this is their first year out of the playoffs, 30, 44, and 8 record for 68 points, 30th overall in the league. And they were 7th in the division, only ahead of Chicago. And I really can't see them leapfrogging anybody just after the season they had. Winnipeg, Dallas, Colorado, Minnesota, St. Louis, Utah are all theoretically playoff teams. Of course, one of them is going to have to be out. I can't really see Nashville really passing anyone out. Unless everything goes right this year for Nashville. Like everything went wrong last year, maybe everything goes right this year. Full list of additions and subtractions. You had add Halla, Perbix, and Haig. Subtractions. Sissons goes to Vegas. Del Gaizo signs in Montreal. Lauzon goes to Vegas as well. Bellows, I believe, went to, was it LA? Or, no, that was Burroughs. Kiefer Bellows, I'm not even sure where he signed because he's not on the roster. I was looking for him. And Verana also heads to Europe. So I think Bellows might have gone to Europe as well. I don't remember. But anyway, guys, that's going to be all I have for you guys on this one. Personally, if I had to choose, Nashville is not a playoff team this season. We could be seeing some guys shipped off at the deadline. Bunting stands out. O'Reilly stands out. Smith, McCarron, those guys are UFAs. And, yeah. So other than that, not many huge names to send out. Or Halla and Bunting, those are 2 for sure. But, yeah, that's going to be all I have for you guys on this one. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. And leave your thoughts down below of where you think Nashville is going to be in the standings this season. And if it's going to be another down year. And if it is another down year, who they're going to ship off at the deadline. Again, thank you all so much for watching this video. And I shall see you all in the next one. Have a good one.